Top 10 Biggest F1 Crashes 2010 to 2020. Buckle up, you're gonna see flying cars, explosions, shattered vehicles, and dead pilots. I'm warning you, this video contains graphic content. Number 10. Trulli and Chandhok, Monaco 2010. Beating the opponent was never so literally as it happened at the 2010 Monaco Grand Prix. During this competition, the Italian Jarno Trulli and Indian pilot Karun Chandhok were involved in one of the most shocking crashes as one car brutally ran over the other in the final moments of the race. Both pilots were turning the Ricas corner of the famous Circuit de Monaco and had 4 laps to go. It was at that point that Trulli's Lotus went past Chandhok's HRT interior. However, what the pilot hadn't foreseen was that he would run out of space as Chandhok turned in. The ensuing event was terrible. Both F1 cars collided and Trulli rose above Chandhok's right side and jumped over his head before badly crushing the back of the racing car. Thankfully, both pilots got out quickly because things had started to heat up. Number 9. Crash at the Start, Belgium 2012. Without a doubt, the most difficult moment in a Formula One race is the start, and Romain Grosjean knows it only too well. The French pilot caused a horrific chain crash just at the first corner of the Spa-Francorchamps circuit at the 2012 Belgian Grand Prix. He ended up getting 3 cars off the track violently. It all started when Grosjean's Lotus moved up quickly to the inside of La Source, but in doing so, the pilot squeezed Lewis Hamilton's McLaren between himself and the pit wall. The wheels made contact and both drivers lost control. Grosjean bumped into the back of Perez's car and became airborne. He dramatically bounced off Alonso's Ferrari, missing Alonso's head by a few inches. This was such a major accident, the pilot for the historical British team got fined $63,000 and was banned from the Italian Grand Prix. How chilling! Hey, if you believe this was an extreme crash, don't miss what's coming in this top 10. One of them was so tragic it put an end to the career of a great pilot. Number 8. Rosberg and Karthikeyan, Abu Dhabi 2012. Many times a car accident may not be the driver's fault. The Indian pilot Narain Karthikeyan experienced this situation as his fast HRT failed in the middle of the 2012 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. This would have been just an incident if it hadn't been for the fact that he got the German Nico Rosberg's Mercedes off the track. The car shot away. Both pilots were on lap 9 at the Yas Marina circuit when suddenly Narain's car slowed down on a high-speed corner due to a problem with the hydraulic pressure. Rosberg, who was behind, didn't have enough time to dodge Narain, so he was launched into the air, landing a lot of inches away noisily and crashing into the barriers.
Couldn't avoid him, so I just flew straight over him. Quite scary because I just saw blue sky, that's all I saw.
It was such a serious collision the wheels of both cars came off, leaving scattered wreckage. But as luck would have it, both pilots walked away unscathed. Number 7. Alonso and Gutierrez, Australia 2016. Not even the Spanish racing driver and 2-time world champion Fernando Alonso is saved from this turbulent top 10. He had a brush with death at the 2016 Australian Grand Prix as his McLaren crashed into the Mexican Esteban Gutierrez's Haas when approaching to turn 3 on lap 18 at the Albert Park circuit. Gutierrez was drifting gently from the middle of the track to the outside as Alonso switched positions, and the McLaren's right front wheel tagged the left rear of the Haas. Alonso's racing car immediately lost one wheel and crashed into the wall, reaching the gravel trap where he rolled over twice, bounced off the ground, and eventually stopped face down. Believe it or not, the Spaniard walked away safe and sound, but this accident scared him out of his wits.
That I'm super happy and I'm alive. You know, I'm talking to you, and this is also thankful for to the FIA.
Number 6. Maldonado and Gutierrez, Bahrain 2014. A false move on the track may mark the future of your career, as it happened to Pastor Maldonado at the 2014 Bahrain Grand Prix. After exiting his pit stop at the first corner on lap 40, Maldonado crashed into the right rear wheel of the Mexican pilot Esteban Gutierrez's Sauber. As a result, the Mexican was sent into a somersault, bouncing off his roll hoop before coming to rest on his wheels. Luckily, no one was hurt. Indeed, Maldonado made it to the end of the race after a stop-go penalty. However, the Venezuelan Lotus driver crashed such a big disaster, he was the first pilot to be awarded 3 penalty points for a single accident, no less. The officials also decided to impose an additional 5-place grid penalty on Maldonado for the competition in China later in the same year. What a heavy blow! Number 5. Marcus Ericsson, Italy 2018. When it comes to losing control, there you are, Marcus Ericsson's dreadful accident. The Swedish pilot scared people to death in the first minute of the day's second practice for the 2018 Italian Grand Prix. The session had just started at the Monza circuit when his Sauber was approaching the chicane in the final stretch at 220 miles per hour, but it turned off the track because the DRS failed to close under braking. The consequence? A serious collision between Ericsson and the wall, making his car fly into the air and roll over. Of course, after seeing the racing car utterly shattered, they feared the worst, but luckily, the pilot walked away unscathed. The event was also red flagged, so all the cars had to stop to check if the circuit was totally fine to carry on with the practice.
To be able to walk away from it and feel fully fit to drive today, you know, it's quite incredible.
Thankfully, everything was just a fright. Number 4. Maldonado and Chilton, Monaco 2013. Pastor Maldonado is involved in an accident once again. This pilot is the F1 crash king, but this time it wasn't his fault. It was the British Max Chilton's fault. The rookie pilot was driving his Marussia on lap 45 of the Monte Carlo circuit at the 2013 Monaco Grand Prix as he hit Maldonado's Williams and sent it into the tayback barriers. The car suffered such a hard hit the damaged part came off and blocked the track. At the same time, Jules Bianchi, who was following both pilots in another Marussia, couldn't help crashing into the barrier, so Gietta Vandergaard's Caterham had to stop to avoid the wreckage. Fortunately, none of them were injured, though this situation brought out the red flag and the responsible pilot received a penalty. Number 3. Weber and Kovalainen, Europe 2010. Would you believe me when I tell you this car is able to fly? Well, it did so spectacularly at the 2010 European Grand Prix. Mark Webber was driving a Red Bull at 190 miles per hour on lap 10 at the Valencia street circuit. The Australian pilot wanted to overtake the Finnish Heikki Kovalainen's Lotus, so in his attempt, Webber misjudged his move and made his right front wheel crash the back left of his opponent. The following occurrence was an extreme action scene. The impact launched the RBR team's car into the air upright and it landed violently, losing its wheels and spoiler along the way to finally crash into the tire barrier. And against all odds, Webber survived without a scratch. Don't you think this is a miracle? Number 2. Romain Grosjean, Bahrain 2020. As you already watched in this video, this is not the first accident Romain Grosjean is involved with, but it could have been the last one. The French pilot cheated death at the 2020 Bahrain Grand Prix as his car caught on fire after crashing. Everything seemed to go well on the first lap at the secure race until his Haas clipped Danick Kvyat's AlphaTauri, so he completely lost control at turn 3. As Romain was driving at 137 miles per hour, he went right into a metal barrier and the car exploded into a fireball after splitting in two. The picture was unspeakable. Luckily, the pilot succeeded in getting out of the racing car and was transferred by an ambulance. A while later, his team notified that he had suffered hand and ankle burns and said that he would need psychological help to recover from the trauma. On that day, he definitely rose from the ashes. Alright, are you all set? Then let's see the most terrible accident over the last decade that puts this extreme competence into mourning. Number 1. Jules Bianchi, Japan 2014. The risky part about entering an extreme competition like Formula 1 is that any accident may take the pilot's life, like it tragically happened to the French pilot Jules Bianchi. He was driving his Marussia at the 2014 Japanese Grand Prix in awful weather conditions, which is why the competitor Adrian Sutil for Sauber crashed at the Suzuka circuit and a tractor came to take away his stricken car. The marshals had indicated that drivers must slow down, but the rain-soaked track made Bianchi lose control of his racing car and hit the rear part of the heavy vehicle. They immediately took the unconscious pilot to the hospital with serious brain damage, and he fell into a deep coma ever since. However, he died 9 months later. Sadly, he couldn't enjoy the sweet smell of victory. After this video, I'm sure that I will never get into an F1 car. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to TrendMax, and hit the bell icon. And if you feel like getting more adrenaline and speed, here you go, this and this video. See ya!